Where should you put your legs in case your balls get too hot? It's like perfectly placed on your head. And every time you talk it's going...
And it's blending in with my hat probably as well. Yeah, like 5-6 days I think the window is of when the egg is there and it's ready to be met by the sperm. It's a tiny window, put it that way. It's also, we didn't know anything about like ovulation sticks and things to find out like when you're most fertile. Absolutely no fucking clue. Literally going into the abyss. I have PCOS. That was not diagnosed until year 3? We had 2 pregnancies and then lost both of them. You know, having this diagnosis, there's so many things that you can do. If we'd had that diagnosed earlier, which really my GP should have noticed, it literally took 30 seconds for that doctor to go, well, there you go, you've got polycystic ovaries. I just remember having this feeling of relief because I was like, oh my God, an answer.
Yeah.
My first answer in years.
We were talking about like describing it as going into the abyss. We were just like going in like just completely...
A few pregnancies that year as well, like close friends.
Yeah, that's...
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold
on a minute. How come it's just happened like that for them?
I was hoping they kind of caught the start of that conversation. Where should you put your legs in case your balls get too hot? Anyway, we digress before we even started. Welcome back. How are you doing?
Welcome back. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm excited to be going into this journey, our story a little bit more.
Diving in.
Do you want to dive in?
Dive in.
Do you want to tell everyone what we're going to be doing today, and what we're going to be doing from now for the next however many episodes? Yeah,
the first few episodes will be going. We're going to talk about year by year, so of our fertility journey. So, you know, how it all started, obviously going through all of it, the emotions, the middle bits, and then getting to the end. Well, it's not the end, but where we are now.
Yeah.
So because there's just so many different aspects to talk about, I think the best place to start is at the beginning.
Yeah. You know what's really funny?
What?
The plant behind you's like sat on your head. every time you talk, it was going. So we're gonna start at year 1.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
beginning.
We'll take it right back to March 2020.
Crikey.
Which, by the way, it doesn't seem like that long because I think we lose. And I've spoke to other people about this. You lose about 2 hours, more than that. You lose 2 years with the whole lockdown and COVID thing. It feels like 2 years just disappeared. But actually, if you look back, a lot happened in that time. That first year where we started trying, I took a bit of a lead with the last episode, so I'm going to let you lead. But the first year was just going into the abyss, really, wasn't it?
100%. I think before we properly started, we'd obviously talked about it and we're like, right, okay, so I think we're at a stage where we're ready. Like, you know, we'd moved out of London. It was terrible timing really because we'd just moved in with my mum.
Which was only supposed to be for
a few months.
4 months.
While we finished saving to buy our first home, and then obviously lockdown happened and we ended up being there.
And I lost my job.
You lost your job. I was on furlough. My sister ended up moving back to my mum's. Oh, we all ended up back at my mum's. Like, poor her. But anyway, that sort of pre-conversation, you're like, okay, like, I think we're ready now. You assume that it'll just sort of happen like that. Like, there's no reason to think it wouldn't happen any other way.
Yeah.
Because you don't. Why would you know all the ins and outs about infertility and I don't know what obstacles could be there? You know, you just think, okay, so we have sex and that's it. Literally, it wasn't even like, do we have sex at a certain time? Didn't know anything about the ovulation window.
Did you not even know anything about ovulation then?
No, not much. I certainly didn't know how long the window was. You know, what is the window? Like 5-6 days max.
Stop there. Keep going. I'm gonna move that branch. It's doing my head. It's like perfectly placed on your head, and every time you talk, it's going.
And it's blending in with my hat probably as well.
I'm gonna spin it slightly away from your head.
Okay.
There we go.
Are we in? We're in. Okay, great.
Continue as you were. Like nothing happened.
Yeah, like 5-6 days. I think the window is of when the egg is there and it's ready to be met by the sperm. It's a tiny window, put it that way, and it's also, I didn't know anything. We didn't know anything about like ovulation sticks and things to find out like when you're most fertile. Like absolutely no fucking clue. Like literally going into the abyss. And I think those first few months, you know, you're like, okay, well, it didn't happen this time. That's fine. Like, it's fun. Well, it's sort of fun when you're at your mum's. Yeah. I think we managed to somehow go on some trips that year, even though it was lockdown. In fact, we went to Dubai, we went to Ibiza.
Did we go to like some sort of like little like glamping thing, like with the, you know, in the huts in the field with the
well, that was for our wedding anniversary.
Yeah, but we tried to like, even though it was lockdown, we tried to do stuff where we could leave.
Yeah, and be out the house a little bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you get to a year, because a GP won't see you unless you've been trying for 12 months. And obviously those first few months you can kind of like just sort of be like, okay, it's been bad luck, poor timing, whatever. You can kind of put it to one side. But, you know, 12, and this is just that first year, like 12 negative pregnancy tests, it weighs heavy, and it doesn't get any easier. In fact, it gets harder and harder and harder. And then there's that growing feeling of, oh my God, what's wrong? Like, is it me? Is it you? Is it both of us? I think at the beginning, we just assumed it was me.
100%.
I think that's what you do assume when you just don't know what you're going into. It is, I would still say, people's first thought is, it's the woman. How could it possibly be the man? When actually, it's 50-50. It's 50-50. And there are so many things that can affect a male fertility. You know, things
like right now, sat with my legs crossed. I shouldn't be doing that.
There is so many things.
Yeah, which I found out. I was pretty much. I ticked all the boxes of things that could be wrong with me.
Shouldn't be doing. Yeah. I mean, I know that's something that we definitely need to go into more detail in is our lifestyles. When we started this journey, you especially, like with your career as a touring DJ, you know, you didn't have a healthy lifestyle. You weren't into your fitness, not a great diet, especially when you were on the road all the time. You know, drinking, recreational drug use, all of these things stacked, like, is not good. You know, I was slightly different from that, but, you know, we were still like, we'd had a very fun, like, few years
to put it lightly,
leading up to this point.
Yeah.
We were not in optimal what do you call it? Optimal state.
I think that's very, very vague. I think we need to be like, we partied. We partied for years, living in London and being a DJ.
But long before I even met you.
Yeah, of course.
Since I was probably 18.
Yeah. And being on the pill for that long.
And I smoked for years.
Yeah.
Smoked.
Which again, all has an effect.
Being on the pill since I was 16. And you're told, no, it's fine. It won't affect your fertility. When I just don't see how that's. I'm not a doctor, but I just don't see how that's a good thing. Like stopping your periods, like it's. You just want to be as natural as possible and have that natural state. But anyway, where did we get up to?
Well, just talking about the first year, you were talking about we'll get up to the 12 months. And not being able to have anything on the NHS.
The tests and everything. So I think when we kind of got to that 12-month mark, this was the only help we've ever had from the NHS. Was some very basic blood tests. And of course, everything came back perfect.
Me too.
Jackie as well. So but at that point you hadn't had any further sort of tests really.
I didn't know there was any further tests to have.
But we were labelled that, honestly, and it is so frustrating because I don't believe it at all. There is always a reason for everything, but it's unexplained infertility. What a crock of shit.
It is a crock
There
of
is
shit.
no unexplained
Of
infertility.
course
There's always a reason.
Yeah, of
There is
course.
always a reason. And
course.
that is my life's mission for the past 5 years, is finding out what is going on in my body, what's going on in your body. And my God, have we uncovered some unbelievable things, which, you know, unless you've done that digging yourself, we would never have found out. And I think this is where a lot of people's journeys get cut short, is they are told that, and you don't know where to look, or maybe you're not that sort of person to be inquisitive and curious or know where to go, and you're just like, right, well, okay, well, that's it then. I just can't have kids.
And that was at month 12. So month 12, we had these tests. Your test came back, whatever, fine.
Absolutely fine.
My test came back and there was one thing on there which was low, but everything else was great. So sperm count was really high, motility was high, morphology was low.
It was morphology, which is low.
But they said, oh, well, you've got millions of sperm, so you'll need one. So it's fine.
You know that is also, again, a load of bollocks, because
I know that now.
Look, like, I can't remember her name, but she posted something about it recently, and that is, it's an absolute lie to say to somebody, oh, if you're 4% morphology, you're fine. No, that's not fine. That is still considered very, very low. And even though it only does take that one sperm, and that one egg, there are so many things that you can do to help improve your odds.
But at that point, at month 12, we were given these tests. We were told by professionals, and like, let's just get this out there. We're not slating the NHS. We're not slating doctors. We're just slating the system, because the actual system for us was, you do these tests at month 12, which you can't have tests until the 12th month. We get these results back. We're told by a professional, a doctor,
unexplained,
that you've got unexplained infertility, and that is it.
And the next stop is, oh, well, obviously now you need IVF.
Yeah.
There's no other sort of deep diving into, and again, we will go into that, because I feel like our first 2 rounds of IVF, I think we could have been in a very different position if I'd had some of my diagnoses,
something like that,
which we didn't find out until later down the line, because we went to a specialist clinic, you know, that could have helped us.
The thing is, that was a specialist clinic, but the clinic that we were at.
Which one are you talking about? Oh no! Of course, yeah, it was.
They could have easily diagnosed what you had.
Absolutely, no. It should have been. No, do you know when it should have been diagnosed? Sorry, I have just to explain.
Well, go on.
I have PCOS. That was not diagnosed until what, year 3? We'd had 2 failed rounds of. Well, no, we had 2 pregnancies and then lost both of them, and then. We went to a specialist. Well, this will be obviously in later episodes, but you know, having this diagnosis, there's so many things that you can do. If we'd had that diagnosed earlier, which really my GP should have noticed.
Which brings us back to this first year, where we should have had this. We feel we should have had this, or been given the option to have a test for this at the start in year 1. Because if we had that, we might not have had to go through what we might.
It's as simple as an internal scan. It literally took 30 seconds for that doctor to go, well, there you go. You've got polycystic ovaries.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's your first hurdle.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that brings up a lot of upset. You know, I remember when we found out, I was on my own. I think you were ill. I think you had COVID. You couldn't come with me. Anyway, I just remember having this feeling of relief, because I was like, oh my God, an answer.
Yeah.
My first answer in years, but also, I can't believe this has taken so long to be told this. Yeah. There's so many things that I could have done to help improve my lifestyle, and you know, maybe those rounds of IVF would have had a different outcome had I known this. So I felt let down.
Yeah.
I felt let down by my GP.
And the clinic that we were
with, you know, and, you know, we paid a lot of money for both of those rounds.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
So yeah, that first year was
a lot of lessons.
A lot of lessons, but also not, because looking back, it's lessons. But at the time, we had no idea what we were walking into. Like, we were talking about, like, describing it as going into the abyss. Looking back now at that first year, we were just like, like going in like just completely.
A few pregnancies that year as well, like close friends.
Yeah, that's.
And I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah,
Hold on a minute. How come it's just happened like that for them?
Yeah, but you get those feelings. Those feelings become stronger as time goes on.
Yeah.
That first year wasn't a big issue. I was like, all right, fine, we'll get pregnant. Like maybe
it'll
next
happen.
month. Yeah, it'll happen. And you can kind of brush it off. But when it becomes 2, 3, 4, 24, 25, not the first year, but we've I will finish this episode kind of on this note, but through this whole journey, every time one of our friends or family get pregnant.
Oh God, I know what you're going to say.
Every time someone close to us that we know gets pregnant, we want to send them a gift. Eleanor found this lovely little box.
I think I should describe it.
Yeah, go on, please do it, because I'm going to butcher it.
Oh God, I need to remember the name. It's like Botanical something. They're not on the high street. It's an amazing company. They do a boy hamper or a girl hamper. And in each hamper is like a beautiful muslin. You can choose the print, a really cute baby sponge, baby massage oil, a lovely little wooden teether, little socks, and you can choose to personalise the box with the name. And there's other things you can add, like for the mum, maybe some bath salts, that sort of thing. And that is what we sent every time. Now,
from year one, we started doing this in the first year,
yeah,
which is why I'm talking about it now.
We sent our last box probably a few weeks ago. One of my best friends had her second baby, who I'm now godmummy to. And you said to me, can you go in your order history and find out how many of these we've sent? And in that time, in 5 years, we have sent 25 of these hampers. Now that is a lot of pregnancy announcements to hear.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
It puts it into perspective that every time we've sent one of those, it was obviously with so much joy.
So much love.
With a heavy heart for us. For us, again, coming back to being selfish, that I spoke about in the first episode. You can't help but feel sad for you when you've been going through this. But yeah, that number was crazy. It was just this thing. I remember I can't remember what it was. I think it was... my friend in Ibiza, who I still haven't given the box to, so I'm not going to mention his name, but we were ordering it for him and I just went, yeah, just check how many we've sent. Yeah.
No, and then we sent another one after that because we sent it to Alex and Richard.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. 25, 20, might be 26 now, but this is something we started doing in year one, and we didn't know how heavy that would be as we got into the later years, year 4 and 5. But that first year was, again, looking back, we were just going into a journey
walk in the park?
It didn't feel as heavy as the other years, but we just assumed, because 12 months goes quite quickly, right? We talk about it like it's Christmas, and then all of a sudden it's like fucking hell, the Christmas markets are out again for the next year. 12 months does go quite quickly, especially when we're in that period where we're in lockdown and we're like everyone was just at home, working from home or off work and all that shit. It went quite quick, but at the same time, now when we rewind the clock and look at what we've been through, we were just going into something completely unaware of what was to come. Yeah. And yeah, some things like the tests that we had, the advice we were given by the professionals, we think we could have got a bit more from people we trusted.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit. Just a bit. That's pretty much it for year one. Do you want to? Is there anything else that anything poignant we missed out? Or?
No, I don't think so. I think that was just obviously the very beginning of the journey, and it was just touching very lightly on what tests were available to us, and maybe what was the next steps. And then year 2 is when it gets juicy.
Yeah, next episode's going to be very juicy, and then it just gets juicier and juicier after that, doesn't it, really? Juicy's not a word I want to use for this. Juicy, dramatic.
Heavy.
Deep. Yeah, all the... fill in the blank.
Rough.
Very rough. And not in a sexy way.
No. That quickly goes out the window.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it there.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.